I would describe my cancer story as one of shock and being grateful. The shock was because I, quite frankly, was lazy about getting a mammogram, about taking care of myself. I was always too busy, and I thought it could never happen to me. Well, guess what? It did happen to me. And I'm just grateful that I did catch it early.
My cancer journey is actually my husband's cancer journey, which we went through together. 6 years ago, he was diagnosed with colon cancer. Fortunately, he's doing great now. He's fabulous, but just knowing your body is so important. I mean, the only symptom he had was he was a little tired.
I would describe my cancer story as evolving. In the beginning, it was scary. It was stressful. It was every negative word I can think of. But then, as I started to get better, it became manageable. And now it's almost like a blessing in disguise.
My cancer advocacy work really began with the conception of the Whitney Reynolds Show. We are now in 11 seasons, but my mission for this show is to create positive change through real life stories and being a safe space for all stories, even the hard ones.
I think it's important that the media share stories about cancer because cancer is the worst disease anyone could ever have. And everybody knows someone who has it, died from it, a relative, a friend, and it's the worst word you could ever hear in your life. So I think that the more the media can share stories, especially positive stories like Cancer Wellness Magazine is doing, those stories are so important to keep people's spirits up and keep their hopes up.
I think it's important that we in the media continue to highlight cancer stories, and not just those of us who have been able to come through it successfully, but to see the journeys that all individuals go through, because everybody's journey is different.
I think it's really important that the media, and as an extension of that, myself, that I'm able to share my cancer story with everybody, with other people, with other cancer survivors, because it makes it less scary.
When it comes to my platform and what people call being a public figure, it is so important for me to not only put my time and my platform and my voice and things I believe in, but also ones that really need some help. And for me, cancer is one that we still need to know answers.
Being a public figure in the cancer arena, if you will, to me is a no-brainer. Nobody had to ask me if I wanted to share my story. From day one, I felt it was important.
I've often shared that I was just really private about my diagnosis for a long time. And part of that was just because I was embarrassed that I really hadn't taken care of myself and that I had gone so long without a mammogram. Being able to use my voice to encourage anybody to take care of themselves, to look out for yourself when it comes to your health, take care of you. It's so important.
It will get better. This is the scariest time. That initial diagnosis is the scariest time because all of a sudden your life turns upside down. It feels like you got sucker punched, like somebody pulled the rug out from underneath you, and your brain is swirling and you're half listening and half hearing what everybody is telling you. It will calm down.
Remember that the hope is on the horizon, that every day that you wake up, you'll read something in the American Medical Journal or in the newspaper that there's a breakthrough in research. I think that the future holds a lot of bright promise, and I think that that's what we have to hold on to.
For me, being a good community member means identifying what causes really need some help and where am I best suited to help them. Look inward, decide how you can best help your community and do just that. I want you to know I'm cheering for you. I truly believe that whatever your impact is, no matter how big or small you think it is, an impact is an impact. So go out there, go get them. We're rooting for you.
the biggest saving grace during my cancer journey, during COVID, during everything. These two gals right here, they are my comfort dogs. They make everything better. You make everything better, don't you? My mantra, just breathe.
I think my mental saving grace, or my mantra, or really what I call my life verse, is from Philippians 4:6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, with prayer and petition, make your requests known to God. When I was going through my cancer diagnosis, when I felt anxious about something impacting my family, it is a Bible verse that I pray every single day.
When it comes to fear that this pandemic in 2020 has brought on, I really have to tell you, I've been practicing something new, and I think it could help you as well. Whatever that is that's coming your way that's making you anxious or fearful, and trying to figure out the worst case scenario and the best case scenario. And is that worst case really that bad? Well, if it really is that bad, then you need to move the dial forward in your life. But for me, I realized the worst case wasn't that bad, and the best case was really good. And some of it involved waiting. So in the waiting game, am I going to choose joy, or am I going to choose to stay in that anxious kind of nervous rhythm? So for me, when I weigh those out, I want to stay towards the top. So that's really been my thing, is the mind shift when it comes to fear and anxiety.
The one thing that I have done to keep these anxieties at bay is continue to see my oncology psychologist, who I have been seeing on and off since my initial diagnosis 14 years ago. The one thing that she has always said to me, and it has always stuck with me, is whether it's related to cancer or COVID or any other type of fear and anxiety, when you have these bad feelings, it's okay to acknowledge them. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be scared. But then you got to let them go and move on.